My name is Mohamed, and I'm a newly qualified Band 5 Occupational Therapist working in the renal wards.
And I'm Sheila McAuliffe, Senior Occupational Therapist working within the Renal and Urology Service.
I've been in the renal team for the last 6 months, but I've done one rotation before this, which was in the liver and digestive health team.
And I've been working in this setting for a number of years, but more recently just within the renal and urology team for the last 15 months.
My average day looks like triaging patients who need to be seen by us who are struggling on the wards, and we'll go through the referrals sent by the wards and always go through the EPR, which is the electronic system, to find out which patients we need to see. Then we will prioritize them and work within the team, delegate to our therapy assistants, and see the patients up in the ward. It also involves attending meetings such as board rounds and long length of stay meetings to help smooth discharges.
My role is varied because it's a split role, so I work in the clinical setting for part of the week and then in the outpatient setting at the latter part of the week. In the clinical setting, the role is varied. A typical day is similar to that of what Izzy's just described. Face-to-face time with patients is about building relationships with them and negotiating the priorities and the things that are most meaningful to them. And that sets the scene for our intervention plans and for our discharge plans and plans within the community also. And then within the outpatient setting, it's a very different kind of a flavour in that patients come to see me, patients with chronic kidney disease within the kidney expansion service who need to be supported with non-pharmaceutical treatments for symptoms related to their condition. So it's pretty varied on a day-to-day basis and a week-to-week basis.
The most exciting part of my job is helping the patients get up again, get moving, get back to what they were doing at home. Like Sheila said, the most important thing, especially within an occupational therapy perspective, is doing the things that are most meaningful to the patients. So getting them ready, rehabbing them, that's my favorite, and when they get to go home and get back to their lives.
The most exciting part for me as well, and I completely agree with that, Izzy, but is meeting people from so many walks of life with so much experience and so many different personalities. You never quite know what you're going to get or what you're going to come away with. So we learn a lot from our patients, and I find that quite exciting.
The hardest part could be when we have to liaise with external agencies and for the things that we can't control, which means this delays the patient's discharges and they end up spending more time in the hospital, which we don't want for them and they don't want for themselves. So sometimes that could take a bit of time.
Although we're very skilled at doing what we do, I think one of the hardest things is when patients are dealing with new prognoses and new diagnoses, and they're trying to get their heads around that, and supporting them the best way possible can be a challenge. It's not something that we find easy. It's something that we have become skilled at, but it's still one of the most difficult parts of the job.
We assess patients when they first come in for their needs, what the barriers are, and we support them. We also rehab patients on the ward. We've got a unique perspective in that we can also look at cognitive aspects of the patient's care, and this normally involves screening the patients who are confused for using the right appropriate screening tools. And the other unique thing about OT in general, especially that it can help more so in renal, is we can support our patients in the community because we are involved in many facets of the discharge planning, including the environmental setup at home.
So, and equally the nuances of an individual, such as the things that are most important to them, even down to the point of how they want to end, their treatments, looking at really complex aspects of their care and how they want things to move forward. In terms of specialist occupational therapy service, we are different to the other services in that we provide a very holistic approach. So as Izzy said, we can look at function, we can look at cognition, we can look at symptom management, particularly with patients who have chronic kidney disease. We can look at how we can support people with different strategies, which might support them managing their mental health, their mood, fatigue management, pain, health and well-being generally. So our approach is quite different to that of other professionals, and we feel that we are an extremely unique service, particularly within renal neurology.
I think I'll probably either be a traveler doing vlogging and things like that, or I'll be in media, which probably links in with my traveling dream.
That's a really difficult question. There are so many things that I enjoy doing, but I suppose music, working within the music industry in one form or another, either performing or creating, or working with animals because they're just so beautiful and loyal, they never talk back.